Happy Tuesday, folks. Today's May 26, 2020, and Bayern versus Dortmund just ended, and there were some changes. So the first game, they had the coaches mic'd up, which is obnoxious. And then the next game for Dortmund, it was kind of quiet and dead. And then this game at Borussia Dortmund's home field, they piped in crowd noise. Now, the DJ was actually playing it interactively, so it wasn't just background cheers, but also emotions on tackles and frustrations on, opposing counterattacks and oohs and ahs from opportunities in front of the goal. So I have to give them credit for attempting it. I guess I didn't know what to expect. Originally, I was thinking they might just have a little bit of cheering so that it's not dead noise. One thing that I do think it did, well, actually I'm not positive. I'm not sure if it was because it's Dortmund versus Bayern that the intensity was so high, because they were tackling each other viciously, nonstop. It was a very interactive game. There was a lot of fouls. There was a lot of hitting. So no complaints there. Fast-paced, end-to-end, attacking. I really can't complain about the play, but the question is, I think it was a total of 24 fouls. Tackles like crazy. Not too many cards, but was it the crowd noise being pumped in that got the players fired up, or was it actually just the play? Because one of the things that there was a little bit of commentary going on before this game was that playing without crowds, or for whatever reason coming back from the pandemic, that there was not a lot of physical interaction. There was more passing, not as much one-on-one contact. This game was the opposite of that, so that was great. Super excited to see it. I guess we'll see where they go from this. But one thing I would recommend is do like they did in the Wolfsburg crowd, where you kind of cover up the seats, because in the background, when you have the music, when you have the sound piped in, it is more relaxing to the viewer to have the crowd noise as you're watching a game, even if you're on and off watching the game or doing something else while you're doing it. When it's quiet, it's so obnoxious, I found myself turning the volume completely off. Which kind of takes you out of the game. So this did help engage and keep me more watching it, but we'll see where they go from it. No complaints from me. As long as the games are on, I'm not really tripping. So with that being said, it was pretty much, 50-50 possession throughout the game. Bayern did a really good job breaking down and intercepting passing lanes. They predicted Dortmund's plays a lot. Now this did go back and forth, but I noticed that in general, while Borussia Dortmund came close, it was a 1-0 win for Bayern Munich. Dortmund's final touches were not there. Erling Haaland in the game, his final touch wasn't there. But even the outside-in passing, Bayern was just superior in cutting off their passing lanes. And I think it's just important to state that some of those little differences were misses in front of the goal for Dortmund, as well as Bayern predicting a lot of their play. So I don't know if it's hard to say exactly what that was driven from, but that's what it looked like to me. Dortmund, once again, working off the counterattack. They get the ball deep and they attack. And that's also because Bayern has a very high line, so you have to try to compete with the high line versus breaking through on a breakaway. But it never seemed like Bayern was caught out of place too much. There were opportunities as the balls were bouncing around in the box, but it never seemed like Bayern was completely taken out. But also, to be fair, Borussia Dortmund played a really good defense. They play really good. Their defensive third defense is pretty spectacular, to be honest. Like, they do a really good job keeping you outside the box. And even that goal in the 42nd minute, the ball was bouncing around at the top of the 18-yard box, and triangle passes, even one interception. They got it back. Triangle passes, and then the ball goes to the top, almost the top middle right of the 18-yard box, and Kimmich just chips the ball back door. Sick shot, okay? I mean, he only had like a few inches to play with to be able to pull Berkey off his line. So, I mean, you got to give him credit. That ball was sick. The shot was sick. The buildup was sick. So, props to them, right? That ended up being the entire, basically, score sheet. So, that's going into half. At halftime, it was almost like a 50-50 battle. Like I said, they were trying to play him off. I think basically Dortmund was making sure Haaland had to do all the work by keeping him honest. And whenever he had a breakaway, it was, 2 or 3 people going to break him down. So Now, the only controversies I saw, really, obviously, there was the introduction of the noise to the game, but in the 58th minute, Erling Haaland did have a shot. Now, I don't want to make it seem like Dortmund didn't have good opportunities or anything, because they did. As a matter of fact, Dortmund had 13 shots, 5 on goal. Bayern had 11 shots, 5 on goal. Okay, so there was a lot of opportunities. This game was pretty exciting to watch. Definitely a battle. But in the 58th minute, Erling Haaland had a shot on target. It went a little bit wide right as he was running. He was near the left side post. He cracked it and went a little wide. Now, if you looked at the replay, it went off Boateng's left arm as he was on the ground, or his arm when he was on the ground. Clearly, it did impede the shot. It looked like the shot was on target before it hit his arm. So if you were to really take a look at that VAR, I think they would have had to awarded Dortmund a penalty. Personally, that's my opinion. VAR didn't even get checked. They didn't even bring it up. Matter of fact, there was a foul later on that slowed the game down right after it, and they still didn't check. So there was no interest in checking for that VAR. Second, another thing, actually in the 91st minute, Lewandowski was on a breakaway, right, where the game seemed like it was almost completely out of hand, but he is completely shoved off the ball in the 91st minute in the box. Lewandowski had the lead on the run. I'm not sure what they didn't respond to that. They didn't check VAR, so he just kind of let it go. So at the end of the day, it seemed like it kind of evened out, but I'm not really sure what the ref was doing there because both of those should have been reviewed. I know it keeps the game moving faster to not have it reviewed. Maybe that's what he's thinking, not sure. But Erling Haaland's goal in the 58th minute, or his shot, was altered by the arm of Boateng out wide. And in the 91st minute, Lewandowski was blatantly shoved off the ball when he was leading a breakaway in the 18-yard box. Just going to throw it out there. I think that more than anything, it was great to see the intensity in the game. Bayern wins 1-0. They stay at top of the league. Dortmund's number 2, and right now it looks like that's what was earned. So exciting to see the game, exciting to see the players kind of go after it, but it is what it is.